Hello everyone, welcome back to Rag Plays Aidyn Chronicles, the First Mage. Before, you can probably tell right now I'm still in Gornia based on the terrible music we're hearing in the background, and the ocean waves. I didn't go back right away. I decided that now would be a better time than later to find out that I was not well enough equipped for the mountain, and I didn't feel that way. So I took the time to go out to the sacred spot of hill farming and farm that hill for monster spawns, and it was actually quite hard because Beacon's Ranger really prevented ambushes whenever we camped, so a lot of time has passed actually, I should show you. It is now the late Earth season, the 19th, which I assume would be something like July or August in this game's terms. I would suspect July. So time has passed, and we have trained up a lot of our skills on these characters. So to start with, I guess I'll just show you guys what I did particularly to Aidyn. Aidyn, I got his strength to 25, so he's able to use the Chaos Sword now. So that we got rid of the Great Sword to do that, and I trained up Godric's strength to 15, so he's able to use a broadsword, at least. Better than a saber. Beacon is pretty much the same in terms of equipment. We also have a lot more healing and curing potions now, considering the camping. I pretty much sold everything that I could. I trained any spells that I couldn't train before. I think I did that on camera. I'm not entirely certain of that, but yeah, so we have mostly the same stuff. We've got a lot of herbs and gemstones from the camping. Maxed us out. Okay, so what did I do to Aileron? For his stats, I buffed dexterity a bit, I buffed endurance a bit, and I buffed strength a bit, just trying to work these skills particularly up to maybe, or these stats up to 20 eventually would be nice, at least. I would like to get willpower to 15 as soon as possible as well, because it's a fairly weak will. I trained Thief to 4, so that's quite a lot of training in that. We're better than Brenna was before she died. Wizard, I think I did train that another level last time, though. It's not this time. We're pretty much the same on Sword and Shield. I trained Air Shield up by 1, which will be good for us. It'll serve us well on the mountain. That's pretty much it for Aileron. For Aidyn, I do believe that I trained his shield up by 1, and I also obviously did a lot into strength. Godric, as I said, we got him to strength of 15, and I trained a bit of mechanic on him. I think that's all I did with him. No, I also trained sword to 3 on him as well. And he's starting to be able to hit things, not really, but kind of getting there. And I trained Dragon Flames up by 1, and that's going to serve us well on the mountain. For Beacon, I don't believe I really trained his... He doesn't have any spells. I don't believe I really trained his stats up very much. I might have put an extra point into Shield or halved it. It might be Warrior, I'm not entirely sure, but I did train his stats up a little bit, and I did go back and unlock all of the skills that I could on him. So he's all set. So basically, we're ready to leave Gornia for quite a while, but before we do, I actually found out that this fine gentleman here has his spiel to say, so we're gonna drop a quick save and we're gonna talk to him. Did they send you to talk to me? Did they? Well, boy, did they? Did they send you? Are you deaf? So these are the dialogue options that I was talking about, and we can tell him to move on, sir. I don't have any money today, like he's a beggar. You're talking to me. What did they tell you? That I burned down that village? What? They lie about everything. You shouldn't listen to them. You think they'll tell you the secret, or explain that camp? Do you believe what they say about that? Is that it? They? You know. You took the ring, didn't you? I don't know anything about a ring. We actually do know about a ring, but we're going to say that one first. Why lie to those who might help? Does it belong to someone you know? Are you trying to be amusing, foolish boy? Would you like to see it? Are you mad? The ring is one of the relics of the lost Namer. If I should see the ring, let me guess, you'd be cursed, right? Or would they come after you? Or maybe the goblins would find you and do something really terrible. What do you do all day anyway? Run around this forest trying to scare harmless travelers? This isn't really a forest, Aileron. This is a bridge. You know, the knighthood is a terrible thing to waste. I hope they don't make you into a knight. Does the king know you're here? Does the king care anymore? That's the question. So, kind of weird. That's very foreboding. Maybe we shouldn't have taken that ring. Maybe it does have a curse. The Namer's ring. But, I am going to begin to trek back to Ehrman via the portal. Obviously, I'm not going to walk all the way back there on the road. But I'm actually going to do a brief once-over of the castle, so I will be sure to let you guys know if I do find anyone that has anything to say in there. So I will be back momentarily, whether I find someone or not. So hey guys, I just found that the king was standing here. I'm going to see if he has anything to say. Aileron, I wasn't expecting you here. Have you forgotten something, or... Well, I'll drop a quick save here. I've stopped at Oriana's, sir. What, boy? Is she ill? No, sir. She was visited by an evil wizard. He threatened her. Why would any of the wizards threaten Oriana? She's harmless. It seems, my lord, she knows something, or someone this wizard wants. Is she in danger? I don't know. She's afraid. I've returned to tell you. Did I act properly? She doesn't know. I told her to take care and signal her friends if he shows up again. I thought you should know. Did I do well in coming here? Indeed you did. A good knight realizes when a battle is too big for his abilities. I'll see to this wizard and puzzle out his nature. Sir, thank you. Now you must get back to your group. Thank you, sir. So that's cool. Can we talk to you again? Be off now, Aileron. I will tell Sheridan, and we will take care of the woman. Okay, so we want to reload that. I've heard a rumor, sir. Since when do the squires listen to rumors? Sir, there is a sorcerer carrying a large staff. Does he lead monsters through Oisen Forest? Rather, sir, is there a sorcerer carrying a large staff? Does he lead monsters through Oisen Forest? Why do you ask? This woman saw him. She said he was looking for someone. Do you know what her story means? No, and I've met every sorcerer in the kingdom. Have you spoken to Gachina or Bowden? No, I haven't. I'll try and find them before I leave. You should. The affairs of wizards are complex, and not easily divined, as my father used to say. But surely Gachina or Bowden will know what to make of whatever this woman has seen. Yes, sir. You may go. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, alright. Let's reload that again. My lord, have you ever heard of a sorcerer carrying a large staff? Many wizards carry staffs, but most are simple affairs. Why? Have you met one like this? No, I met with Oriana, and she... Oriana, you say? Again? How did she help you this time? Sir, this time we should help her. Is she in danger? I think she might be. A wizard paid her a visit. I think he threatened her. He seemed to be looking for something or someone. He warned her to tell him all she knew. Who was he looking for? She doesn't know. I told her to take care and signal her friends if he shows up again. I thought you should know. Did I do well in coming here? Indeed you did. A good knight realizes when a battle is too big for his abilities. I'll see to this wizard and puzzle out his nature. Sir, thank you. Now you must get back to your group. Thank you, sir. Be off now, Aileron. I will tell Sheridan and we will take care of the woman. So hey guys, I was just going back through the castle and decided to stop by the library to see if any new entries opened, and actually Ramsey's journal has a... rather, this book that I found has a new entry that wasn't there before called Ramsey's Journal. Let's go ahead and read that. And though I hate to be in any man's debt, I truly owe this beacon my life. I have tried in my way to repay him, but blast the man if he does not confound me at every turn. I promptly knighted him on the battlefield so that he could receive the Medal of Valor, and yet he seemed reluctant to accept the honor. Does he begrudge me in some way? Why? Every night I hear the sound of the goblin snarls. From nowhere Beacon appears, he saves me. I see this every night in my dreams, yet when I awarded Beacon his medal, he immediately retired. Why forsake the knighthood? What is this sadness I detect in him? Indeed. So if I find any more books with anything, I will be sure to let you guys know. Just getting ready to leave Guernia here for good, but I figured I'd try and actually see if I could pick these locks a little beyond the ability, 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 so I don't think we can quite yet, which is unfortunate, but we're very close to being able to pick all of those open, which is pretty cool. Back to Ahriman we go. We're done in Guernia. Alright, so what did we have left to do? I'm going to go to Godzun and Zurin's house and try and pick their lock. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get that one open. And then I think we're pretty much ready to go and see Txomin. I might pay all the shops a visit and see if there's anything else I can find, but yeah, I guess I'll just cut for now because I'm going to be just doing a lot of walking, so I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, guys, we really should try and get Godric trained with as many spells as he can learn. Now, you may have noticed in the past episode that we could pretty much learn whatever we wanted. That is because we have no school. Because we are the game's titular character. We are the First Mage. And a mage is a magician that can cast from all 4 schools without being restricted to any one. And that actually, there's a reason behind that as well, but I won't go into that now because that's spoiler territory. So we need to find, like, all of the elemental spells that Godric does not possess. What kind of XP you got? Oh, you got 10,000, you're good. So yeah, she actually does have... He is not high enough to learn that, but he can learn Dispel Elemental, and we'll do one of that. We'll do a Strength of 1, because why not, and we'll do Versus Elemental of 1. So alright, so he's got those spells. If I find any more that he can learn, I'll be back with them. So being back in Ahriman, I decided to do the once-over of the place and found myself at the library, and there's actually a lot more in some of these books, so I figure I'll go through that for lore. We read What Was Sworn before, but all of these were not there. Alold's Place, Thoughts on Terminor, and Talawalk Woods, so let's read about those. Alold's Place. The teacher Alold, who is given such skills free and clear, is thereafter allowed to remain unencumbered and without restrictions at the known valley place, bordered in the north by the clear river, and on the south by the old ruins. Rather, old hills. Whoever Alold is. Actually, I know who Alold is. Thoughts on Terminor. I have the indelible impression that factions in Terminor supporting an alliance with Guernia do so only with the understanding that certain assurances can be made. We are negotiating with a determined council. They are for a treaty, but not unexpectedly intend to bring increased concentration on the rules of inheritance within the new and reformed kingdom itself. Here, Phelan might be well advised to approach and handle all dealings with the citizens of Terminor with greater delicacy and much more respect than he has shown in the past in the face of his... more about the merging of the kingdoms when, Bowden and Bodacia... Not Bowden and Bodacia. When, Phelan and Bodacia wed, I suppose. Talawalk Woods. It appears they are not fearful of Mirari nor of humans, but are in fact social, given to long ramblings about nothing more than wildflowers, other woodland spirits, and the meaningless search for herbs among the grasses. Avoid them, on the advice of this source, lest your brain be stuffed with purposeless dryad fantasies too trivial to note. So apparently in the woods of Talawalk there are dryads that live in there. It'll be nice to see someday. So in this book, there's now an entry on Shamsuk in the Five Wizards. that we only had 3 before, so let's go ahead and read about the 4th. Left without word, from time to time he did contact the others either through reading, other mystic channels, or by ordinary letter. Many of these have been lost, yet enough is known to safely conclude that Shamsuk continued to search for a way to unite. So not much there, but he was looking for a way to unite something. Close it you will? Yes, we will. I'll be back if I find any more books, guys. So immediately I came to this book, and actually there's 2 more entries in here, Someday and Never, so we will read both of them. The Book of To Come. Someday. ... Profound. Never. When this comes to pass, we will finally control the mundane plane, and weak as they are, the humans, Jundar and Mirari, will be the better for it. Already I am able to do away with certain of these unnecessary queens, wizards, and dragons. Others simply make themselves helpless and incompetent. They pose little challenge for me, Rabasat, who has learned what shall be from the Swallower of Worlds. Yeah. That's not foreboding or anything, Swallower of Worlds. Some dark gods in Aidyn, that's all I have to say about that. So I'm just back in one of the shops that sells spells, and I decided to get an air shield, a remove poison, and a wind for Godric while I'm here, so I'll go ahead and teach him those now. Be a scroll, because I want to save on XP whenever possible. Money is of no object to us, so let's go ahead and learn those. I hope I didn't already buy these for no reason. No, he does not have them. So, Air Shield, that's an elemental spell. Remove Poison is, and Wind. Cool. So he has quite a lot to offer us now in terms of spell casting. He's got 2 offensive spells, unlike us. I wish we had Dragon Flames, that's so good. And, by the way, the reason I chose to use Plate Gauntlets over Jundar Gauntlets, you might think damage would be nice on some of these characters, and yeah, you're right, it would. It would really help a lot, but most of our characters are melee, and generally speaking, like, Jundar Gauntlets, like, while they affect everything, you would put these on an archer, someone you don't expect to get into combat, because they give damage versus protection. And Jundar themselves are actually like the elves of this game, and they're very, they're inclined to ranged combat. So that is why I chose to put Plate Gauntlets on everybody. We don't really have a ranged character as such yet, so. Anyway, I will continue along, and if I find anything else, I will let you guys know. Also going to buy Godric a Debilitation spell and Dispel Naming, since he can learn both of those. Does she have anything to train that's different, though? No, she doesn't have any spells at all. Alright. Okay, guys, just back at Gotson and Zurine's house. Let's see what's in that chest, if we can actually get into it at all. Hopefully. Yes! 555 gold pieces. Well, it could have been better. It could have been worse. Alright, moving right along. Alright guys, let's go actually visit Txomin now. We've done pretty much everything. I went back and looked around for everybody, talked to everyone I could find, and I feel good about that. I also feel good about going back into the castle in Gwernia and telling the king that Oriana was attacked. That really puts our mind at ease. We should have did that before we left for Araman. What are these runes here? What does that say anyway? Royal Palace of His Majesty Txomin. Right. Okay. So I'm going to drop a quick save right here before we go in, and we'll just go right on in there. Good day, Squire. Happy are we to see a traveler from Gwernia. Many years has it been since I've seen your king. Phelan fares well, we hope? He does, King Txomin, and he is guided wisely by Gachina, the wizard you have graciously sent as aid. Phelan sends his letter also. Let me see it. Indeed. News is welcome from Phelan. I suppose he's always been an ally. as was Ramsay 20 years ago. This letter says you are poisoned, does it not? Goblins, I was left for dead. One of the Gwyrnia healers found me in the Oisen Forest. Did she treat your poison then, boy? If you'd read the letter, you would know that. Yes, and I am better, but Phelan sent me to Araman to seek the wisdom of the Mirari too. You see, the poison somehow persists. I know of this healer. She lived here years ago. Two of our sisters, Gotzun and Zurine, took her in after a goblin attack. I am afraid, however, I see no way of helping you. I am plagued by goblin raids and must focus my attention on the sick and ill in Araman. Still, the goblins have attacked Araman? Yes, recently. Several of my subjects journeying to other lands ambushed have been. They have not yet struck at us here in the city. I did not want to trouble about it. But it is a matter of great concern to me. Mirari are folk of peace. We have no army, no warriors. Perhaps I could be of service, Great One. The goblins aren't my friends either. Maybe I could attempt to rid you of this problem in exchange for a healer. Bargain that might be. As for a healer, Master Healer Cradwog might be able to cure you. Find him you could. Very well, young Alaron. If destroying the goblins you be, I will do my best to help you with Cradwog. The river will be your guide, the goblins nesting along it somewhere. Be sure to slay their leader, or back the goblins will come, and your task will be incomplete. Thank you, sir. I will not fail you. Alright, a new journal entry was added. Let's go see what that is. King Txomin says that Master Healer Cradwog might be able to help me. The king promised to help me find Cradwog if I go and fight the goblins for him. I have to go and fight these goblins. They are to the north of Araman. Fair enough. I guess we will drop a save here as well, since we talked to him. And I don't know where he took off to, in fact. What about you guys? What do you have to say? Hello, honored Mirari. Friends, how be you? The king all has heard and awaits your news. You know who I am? What is known about you, pup, is barely enough. Have a good day. And you. Hello, honored Mirari. Ah, the humans. May I be wishing you well as you travel this city. You know who I am? I do, and a clue is owed. Trust in queens, not in kings. Have a good day. Yes, indeed. There are, plaques on the wall that we're going to read. Let's go upstairs first and see if there's anything up here. Oh, there's a woman. 2 women. 3 women. Okay. Hello, honored Mirari. If you're not too busy, you are not Beacon. You know who I am? Nothing to offer you I have but the peace of nature. Thank you. Okay. It's rather ostentatious in here. Hello, honored Mirari. If you're not too busy, more well-formed are you boys of Gwyrnia than our own silly, stumpy men. You know who I am? Arrived here through the Sacred Circle, young one. Thank you very much. Yes, we did arrive here through the Sacred Circle this time. And what about you? Hello, honored Mirari, if you're not too busy. More well-formed are you boys of Gwyrnia than our own silly, stumpy men. You know who I am? Yeah, and you have the same thing to say. Okay. Let us read stuff. I'm going to start on the bottom floor and work my way up, because I assume those ones you're supposed to read first. Drop a quick save. History. And so, King Ramsay, in order to fulfill the ancient debt, led his knights in a flanking attack on Grichtekal's hordes. The screaming of the horses echoed through the canyon that grim morning. Ramsay's display of honor showed in his placement of his son, Phelan, in the front echelon. So Phelan was up front. And this one. The battle is met. Grictekal met Ramsay upon that hill where the ancients had made their rune. Those antique stones absorbed the blood and entrails of both man and goblin. They had their surfeit, and yet the blood did not stop, but kept its flow evermore. Cavalry fell upon spear, spear broke upon shield, shield fell upon ground, the silence became the men. How bloody and very grim. I guess we'll start with this one since it's next. Then when hope was near unto lost, a soldier of Ramses, Beacon by name, led a small army of the king's farmers into the fray. They cut their way to the center of the fight and freed his king. Ramsay then rallied his men and overcame the goblin horde. The battle is then joined. Ramsay stood tall against the setting sun and rallied the knights of the wolf to his side. Phelan was there as well, father and son holding each other tall. The wolves had lost all their mounts. Many of them had been bled white deeply into the rune. The sky was falling on them then. Grictikal encircled and taunted them, bleating hideous threats and sounding of sweat and thunder. Goblins jumped and cackled. Then, above all else, a lonely horn was sounding. Beacon and his rangers crested the hill, following after the sound of the horn, a horn that echoed through the ranks of the goblins and split them unto shards. Leave this carving. That is I find that very interesting, very well written. The Battle of Lonely Mountain was apparently quite a glorious affair. Well, if not a very morbid affair. I could have swore there might have been one more carving in here, but I guess I'm wrong. That's it, guys. We are ready officially to go up the mountain. So, it's the middle of the night. We should get, I don't know, some monicum of rest, I suppose. I may actually take one more trip around Araman and see if anybody has anything to say. See if Uraza is still walking the bank. I don't see her over there, but it is the middle of the night. And if she has any more information for us, and then get back to you, so I will see you in a bit. If not, we will be ready to head up the mountain.